So this was all really wonderful information. And I want to again thank Chris and Carol for sharing their wealth of knowledge in working with children and families. So moving ahead now, parent input, regardless if your child is in early intervention, has an IEP or individual education plan or 504, it's vital. By vital, I mean that as a parent, you have a say in how development and education supports are offered to your family in early intervention, for example, or your child as they start preschool and beyond. As a parent, I was always wondering what I would say at my children's meetings. From the form that I'll be sharing with you, it helped me identify gaps in their education, and it helped me to participate more in the development of providing services and supports. One thing I want to stress is that these 6 special considerations need to be addressed within your child's team meeting annually, as I've said before. It may be that there is something that your child is missing, and without addressing these 6 considerations, they might go unseen for many years. By using the parent input form, this will help families identify areas that relate to the 6 special considerations and their child. There are several versions out there that are similar to this parent input form, and this is only one that I've used with my children throughout the years. The best way to participate is putting your thoughts and information down on writing. By this, I mean that there's an opportunity when things are in writing that everybody has equal access to information that has been shared between different team members in meetings. The phrase, if it didn't get written down, it didn't happen, can happen a lot. People forget things, they move very fast. So being able to put things down in writing, sending an email, using this input form, writing a note to your teacher, or a letter to your team members. Those are all examples of putting things in writing. So this is a form that is fillable, meaning that if you have a copy of it on your computer, you can go ahead and fill in the information next to the colon here, or the prompts and the questions. And just briefly, I want to cover some of the information on this form. So again, you can see that there's just some basic information at top that helps define and, I don't want to say define, but helps to share more information about your child that certain team members may not know. If you are transitioning out of early intervention, for example, and the team is brand new, these are things that you want to be able to share with those people. So my child is best at, my child needs help with, my child most enjoyed, and my child least enjoys. It's always interesting to and a good practice to identify those things that our children are good at or that enjoy, because a lot of times we're working on things that can be very difficult for them, like language development and so forth. So these are good things for people working with your child at school or in a different environment to know about. Then down below here, ways that my child communicates. There are many different ways anyone communicates. This is a collection of different ways, both receptive and expressive, and the formatting is a little off here because I'm in Google Docs. When it's printed out, it's more lined up, so apologize for that. And then a way in which you can describe how those receptive and expressive ways of communicating look for your family and your child. And then different ways that your child communicates. So whether they be finger spelling here, gesturing, home signs, it's all good to be able to explain what those things are for the team. And then down below here on the other page, supports needed to increase our proficiency as parents, family members in communicating with our children. This is something that families are experiencing across our state. If a family is wanting to use American Sign Language, for example, in what ways can a team support the families learning that language to interact, support, and care for their child? Not having communication between parents, family members, and a child can be very destructive and dangerous. So we want to be able to give every opportunity for families to interact with their own children. And then down here, the ways in which we work or play with our children. How we help our child receive, how my child has received help in the past includes. So different ways in which you've worked with your child as a family or parent that's worked. Ways that we've tried to help our child with their behavior that has worked, and then ways that we've helped our child that has not worked. It's always good to point out ways that work and don't work. And then down here, the ways our student connects with deaf, blind, or hard of hearing student role models, or adult role models. So this again goes back to the special considerations. It may mean that if your child is in a school or preschool setting, you might not know what this looks like. And so being able to fill this in, saying, I am unclear, that would be a question that you would want to ask the team and fill in when you have your meeting. Just down here, the ways our children or our child or student has accessed his, her, or their school day, including. So again, not just only in the classroom, but outside of the classroom, that full range of needs. These are things that you can list. And again, if you don't know, then you can mark that on this form as well. If you don't know and the team is unclear themselves, this is something that needs to be addressed. This is a goal, an accommodation, or like I said, an IEP goal that needs to be put down and worked on. Okay, and then questions we have about, there is one here. I guess it's not complete here. On the form that I have in front of me, there is questions, ways in which my child uses technology. And there's different ways in which you can click on a box and identify those things, and then enter comments. So this form can be found on our website eventually. But for now, if you have questions and want to contact either of the three of us, we can share this information with you. Great. So, again, this is a lot of information to fill into a very small box, but it's something that needs, again, to be addressed regardless of the age of your child. These things all apply to any age development. A lot of the language, again, was focused on an IEP or individual education plan, but again, something to consider for all ages of children. Right. So the family input form, again, was something that I learned about when our children were very young and just entered school. I used it for many years to help me articulate what I felt of our child's needs were for that year. Some years there was a lot of information I filled in on that form, and such as those transition ages from early intervention into preschool, preschool to elementary age, elementary to middle school, and middle school to high school, and then beyond high school. So each one of those big transition years had a lot of information that I shared. As our kids grew, they also helped fill in the information on these forms as part of their self-determination skill building. Again, this form helped organize my thoughts. As busy parents as we are, this isn't the only thing that we're focusing on. Taking a few minutes here and there with the form helped me very considerably to develop these things. It also was a way I could document my knowledge about my children. It helped me to be a better and more confident participant in our meetings. And over the years, I noticed that as things repeated on the form, it meant that a gap was created and helped me to be a stronger advocate in those situations. And lastly, as I said early, this is something that our kids participated in and could fill in for themselves as they got older. Below, there's a quote, by you being there makes a difference, or by you being here makes a difference. This quote was something that I heard often attending trainings and different workshops. It was unclear to me then what this really meant. By you being here makes all the difference. Though as the years grew, I came to realize that being at the table for my child not only helped me be a stronger advocate for our kids, but it helped them to be advocates for themselves. And that is the ultimate goal.